I want to make the most of every opportunity. You know that. That's what Moio is. And that includes especially making the most of every opportunity to have a positive influence or impact on people's lives. But you know what I've found is that if I react to certain thoughts too quickly, then my words or my actions can be counterproductive on having a positive influence on people. And as I mentioned yesterday, sometimes they can be destructive. And so I'm bad about reacting too quickly, like that trout that I was talking to you about the stream. I'd be a trout that just snags the bait right off the bat. And that bothers me. And I've wanted to understand what it would take to not take the bait of every thought that enters my head and react in such a way that is counterproductive to my core value of making the most of every opportunity. And so I decided I want to look to the science behind it, because my whole life I've struggled with temper, and people have told me over the years, you just need to calm down, you just need to not respond so quickly, you just need to think about it. Well, none of that ever worked. So I thought there's got to be some science behind ways that would help me to react differently. And so I started looking into the science behind mindfulness, one of which methods of mindfulness is meditation that I've talked to you before. And there was a blockbuster study that came out of Yale a number of years back. There's a researcher named John Kabat-Zinn who created a program that's called mindfulness-based stress reduction. And he created it as a way to help people in pain deal with their chronic pain. And they did this study out of Yale that looked at these people that underwent this program. And they found an incredible result. The area in our brain, deep in our brain, one of the oldest sections of our brain that sits right on top of our spinal cord, is the part of the brain that triggers that response, that quick, thoughtless response, that fight or flight response, which is very productive if you're in danger. But if you're not in danger, it can be destructive. But that's where those impulses come from. And that's the part of the brain that governs me when I respond and react to thoughts like that. But what they found is that people that did this program of mindfulness-based stress reduction, which one of the core things in it was meditation, that part of the brain, that segment of the brain actually decreased in size, physically decreased in size. That's that concept of neuroplasticity, where you can rewire your brain. It's straight out of Romans 12 too. And what they also found was that the areas in your brain in the prefrontal cortex, which helps to control emotions and gives us compassion and empathy, helps us make decisions, that part of the brain actually got bigger when they underwent this program. So they actually showed that you can rewire your brain. And not only can you rewire your brain, but they showed scientifically that you can learn to deal with thoughts and stressors that oftentimes can trigger a quick reaction that can be destructive or counterproductive. And you can learn to deal with it in a way where your response is different so that you can make the most of every opportunity. And that was groundbreaking evidence that showed us that we really can retrain our brain. We really can teach ourselves to respond differently, to not just react to stimuli quickly and in destructive ways, but we can take that stimuli and note it, that it's there, but slow down the process and give us time to think. Because if you think about it, some of the things over the years that I've reacted to that have created counterproductive interactions weren't even things that mattered had I thought about it. Maybe it was something that I just misunderstood what someone was saying, or I didn't understand the whole story, or I'd only really heard part of what their idea was, and I reacted too quickly. But that's just the way my brain is wired. But I've learned to rewire it so that those thoughts don't dangle in front of me and I just react and take the bait. But I've learned to let them pass by, just like that fly in front of the trout. And that's how you keep from taking the bait of the thoughts that dangle in front of you. That is one of the great benefits of mindfulness, mindfulness-based stress reduction. You want to read more about it? You want to understand more about it? Look into Jon Kabat-Zinn's book, Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. It's amazing science, and it will make a difference, not only in the way we react, but also in the way we deal with chronic pain. Every day is an opportunity. They're not infinite, but they're plentiful. So make the most of them. Moyo, everywhere we go.